investigation is underway after a woman was found dead under the Anakeesta chairlift in Gatlinburg.
Investigators say a woman died after jumping from a chairlift at an attraction in the Smokies.
Continuing coverage for you tonight, investigators have now shared more details about the tragic death in Gatlinburg last night.
As we've been telling you, a woman's body was found under the chairlift at Anakeesta.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been kind of MIA with my videos, but I'm back. I had a brain surgery a month ago. Yeah, it was a whole craniotomy. And then I got my bachelor's degree in psychology all within that last month. So it's been a crazy month for me, but I'm back and I'm back to recording, so I know you guys missed me. Today I want to talk about another suicide that happened in the Great Smoky Mountains. This happened at Anakeesta. It's another like mountaintop attraction. It's literally just kind of like the sky bridge, a sky lift thing, but they have a lot more that they built onto that. But a woman jumped from the chairlift. She lifted the bar up and just jumped when it was at the peak of the mountain. Jessica Rhea Ford was the one that was found deceased. She was from Laverne, Tennessee. She lived with her mom, her cousin, her two youngest kids, so it was all of them in a household in a small town in Tennessee. She jumped from the chairlift. Authorities found her body. Like I said, it was like at the peak of the mountain. They were telling people not to look down when they passed, and I don't see how you literally just couldn't look down because somebody below you is deceased. How would you not just be curious as to what happened? A lot of people thought that she just fell, but then when they did an investigation, they realized it was a suicide. And I don't know if you've been to these mountaintop attractions, because the chairlift is just a bar that's your barrier. You have to literally, it's heavy, so it stays put, but you have to lift it up to jump, and that's what she did. But overall, it's pretty safe, unless you lift it up just like she did. They closed Anakeesta down immediately after this happened. But they of course had to get all the current riders off, and I bet they were traumatized when they got off of this ride.
We got to Gatlinburg on Sunday, and today was our last day. So yesterday was the last full day of doing something.
Patrick Hanlon and his family are from Georgia and were vacationing in the Smokies. They thought for the last day they would visit the Anakeesta theme park.
We got up there somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock. I mean, the views were phenomenal. We ate at a good restaurant. The kids got to do the mountain coaster. It was great.
That is until they started seeing first responders coming up the mountain.
We were eating dinner, and actually, as we were eating dinner, we saw a fire truck or a little rescue truck they have there, and an ambulance with 2 cop cars come pulling up behind I believe it was the Clifftop house.
They soon found out that a woman had died and that the chairlift would be closed for the rest of the night. The only way back down the mountain would be by shuttle. Joe Matthews says he and his family were only on the mountain for a few minutes before the incident occurred.
Just kept hearing rumors of what had happened, but there was no official word of anything. We didn't know what had happened, and we just kept seeing this long line keep forming to try to get off the mountains.
Both Matthews and Hanlon say trying to get back down the mountain was chaotic, but their hearts go out to everyone involved.
Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with their family.
And you can either go on the chairlift, or they have these big enclosed red, I don't know what you call it, just like a little trolley type of looking thing. And you can also ride that to go up or down, and that's the safest. But like I said, you have to intentionally lift the bar up to jump out of the chairlift. So that's definitely what happened after they did the investigation. They realized that that's what she did. So at Anakeesta, you get on the chairlift, you go all the way up to the mountain. You can explore things around. They have restaurants up there now. They have a overlook tower, things like that. And then you get back on and it takes you back down. But with Jessica, there's a history to her. I didn't realize, I'd heard of a story that a girl tried to literally ram through the barrier at the White House, and it was her.
Good evening. We're going to begin tonight with a security scare at the White House. The president and the Australian Prime Minister were inside when a driver rammed a minivan into a metal security barrier. Jeff Pegues is on the scene with more on this. Jeff?
Tourists, including the woman who shot this video, were diverted after this white minivan slammed into a security barrier at the southwest entrance. Secret Service quickly arrested the female driver. The vehicle's windows were shattered, but officers didn't have to fire a shot. Federal law enforcement sources say the suspect has been on their radar for some time. She has been cooperating, and they believe she has mental health issues.
She had a bunch of delusional thoughts about stuff going on in the White House. She thought her ex-husband was the president. It was just so much going on with her, mental health-wise, and I think if she would have gotten treatment, this may have never happened. And it's sad because the man that she was married to, that after a long time she thought was the president of the United States, killed himself. And then I think she went on to date someone else, but she struggled with mental health things literally her entire life. She also thought that her children were in the White House with her ex-husband and that she had to go rescue them. But they realized that she was under the influence of a lot of alcohol, cocaine, prescription drugs, just all kinds of stuff. And all that is a huge factor and played into her mental health issues. She also had a history of a lot of convictions like trespassing, just all kinds of other different types of charges that kind of played into all this happening. I pray for the people that witnessed this because I can't imagine just being with your family, going on the chairlift, not even thinking anything possibly like that can happen, and just having to witness that going back down the chairlift. And I know that was so hard to see. Mental health is super important and it should be taken so much more serious than it is. This is where he was hit with his flashlight, and then he was stabbed and then shot. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's story is super insane, it's sad. It's about a double murder that happened at a hotel in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It was on a night in September of 1986. And Gatlinburg is a very small town, so something like this changed the town forever. And as you guys know, Gatlinburg is a big tourist place. There's fun for every age group, kids, adults, elderly. There's something to do. The area's home to Dollywood. There's a bunch of parks to go to, trails to hike. It's just crazy that this happened here. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you all know that I started a Patreon. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's a platform where you can pay a monthly fee and it just helps support creators, with their content. And there's different tiers. They all offer certain exclusive content. It starts as cheap as $3, and then the $5, you get a shout out in my videos. I know you guys like when I go on location for my videos. By subscribing to my Patreon, it'll help fund that. So the link will be in the description. The murder happened at the Rocky Top Village Inn. This hotel was in business for over 30 years. It was started by a couple. They loved music. They just loved the area and they really just wanted to settle down and, start this hotel. So this couple didn't even have a clue they would be in for a shock. And keep in mind, the same year is when Dollywood opened up. It was just an average, regular time in Gatlinburg. They said at the time about 1,500 people lived in the area. So like I said, it's a super small place, kind of like everybody knows everybody. And for this to happen just really shook the area completely. The crime would involve Missy Hill. She was a 21-year-old that worked as a clerk at the hotel. And Troy Valentine, he was a security guard. He just kind of patrolled the whole entire building there in Gatlinburg. Missy's husband was a dispatcher for the Sevierville police department, and keep that in mind for later. Troy was 36 years old. He was described as just being super nice to everybody. He, took everybody's privacy and security really to heart. He just wanted everybody to be safe in the area, and he patrolled, and just if there was a call for Missy or anybody in the hotel, he was right there to help them. There would be a few people involved in the crime. The first one is Kimberly Pelly. The next one, Eddie Harris. You have Joseph DeMonica and Ashley Silvers. Ashley Silvers was also known as Rufus Dobie. The group really met through like previous encounters. Eddie, his nickname was Tattoo Eddie. Him and Joe, they met in prison. So that's already a red flag, because if you become best friends in prison, you won't be up to no good when you get released. Eddie's name was Tattoo Eddie because he got over 130 tattoos in prison. And I can't imagine what they looked like. I don't know how that even was possible. But yeah, that's how he got that nickname. Rufus Dobie was also called Ashley Silvers. He identified as a woman. I don't know when he transitioned to that, but they had been friends before that happened, so he came out as transgender. So how they all got together, they met up in Georgia and randomly drove to Knoxville. They apparently were asking friends to like stay with them. They slept in the car, like in their driveways. They just didn't really have places to go. That's when they found the hotel in Gatlinburg and decided to stay there one night. And this group was just into a bunch of different trouble and things like that. They were trying to steal things and sell things to get money. They had to borrow money to be able to pay for the room at the hotel this night. The group had sent Kimberly, Kimberly, the girl in the group, to talk to Missy at the front. This is when they had like the great idea to have Eddie try to like want to hold her hostage and pretty much rob the hotel. So Missy and Kimberly, before that happened, they were walking to their room. Missy was just showing them the room. That's when Eddie came out. They said that you could hear like loud screams, and I'm assuming, that's when they attacked her. Missy was stabbed like a lot of times, and then she was shot in the head. This is when her husband called the hotel with no answer. And at this time, nobody really knew what was going on. So I don't think he had like high alerts, going off in his head at this time. However, her husband called security to see if he could check on his wife. Like I said, he was a dispatcher for Sevierville Police Department. So I think he might have thought at this point that something might be wrong. When Troy, the security guard, went and checked on Missy, he would find her dead. When he found her, Kimberly grabbed his flashlight, those big bulky flashlights that security has and police officers have, and she hit him in the head with it and knocked him unconscious. This is when Troy was stabbed multiple times, just like Misty was, and he was shot between the eyes. They were on a mission really to do this from the start. I don't think they just wanted to stay the night. I think they, like I said, wanted to rob the place and just really cause damage to these people. Missy's husband, the dispatcher, found the knife in a phone booth by the hotel. So I can't imagine how he felt seeing that knife. I can't literally put myself in that position and just think about seeing the murder weapon that was used to kill your wife. Okay, so we're here at the hotel that once was a Rocky Top Village Inn, but now it's something different. But this is back here is where they say that they could see like the ghosts and things like that, and hear the screaming and all that. So this was where it once stood, which unfortunately it got torn down and it's a different hotel now. But like they said, it don't stop people from visiting here. This is where the security guard was killed, apparently, out here in the front. I don't know if it's the same kind of layout, like a drive, you drive through, but this is where he was hit with his flashlight, and then he was stabbed and then shot. So that all took place here in this parking lot. This hotel is now Courtyard Marriott. The people responsible for all of this have either died, been killed in prison, or pretty much have a life sentence. Tattoo Eddie was killed in prison in 2015 in a prison fight, and people said that he thought he was like this big and bad person in prison because he killed 2 people and thought to have killed more, and he must have just met his match in prison and passed away. A lot of people say that this is what they get. This is karma for what they did to these people. These people trying to make honest living, just working at the hotel. Quiet Gatlinburg, small Gatlinburg, just making a living, working, and not bothering people. The security guard had other people's safety in mind over his own, and that's the sad part about it. This hotel area is supposed to be super haunted, even like to this day. They said that you can hear screams, like the screams that Missy in the hotel that night in the hallway, but it's been torn down. It's a whole new hotel that's built right there. It's just crazy because they say the spirits still haunt that whole entire area. So it's crazy that it's an entirely new hotel but that they say you can still see her, see them in the parking lot, and just hear the screams. Like I said, the hotel is now demolished. They have a whole new hotel that is built right there, but that doesn't stop people from visiting the area because this is like a huge thing that happened back in the day in Gatlinburg. It just really shook the entire town, like I said, and just totally changed it forever. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you know me, you know I like to talk about local stories, and today I'm going to talk about another disturbing case that happened in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So on April 11th, 2016, it's been so many more years than it seems like, because I remember literally when this happened, police got a call that someone had fell from the Anakeesta Space Needle, and that's a huge space needle that is right pretty much in the center of Gatlinburg. It's huge. Like, I can't even put into words how big this thing is. When you walk on the sidewalk, you look up, it's just, I cannot imagine somebody falling from that. It's crazy. When they got there, they found a deceased male. They thought that he might be in his late 50s or just in his 50s, and they really had no clue. They didn't want to release a name just because they didn't even know where to begin. And can you imagine walking on the sidewalk and just seeing somebody just fall, not even having a clue how they got there, what happened? People say that people walking by were visibly shaking and just traumatized by this happening. Police put tape around the scene and it was closed for hours. So they, did more investigation, and it was revealed that somebody actually jumped. They didn't fall. They jumped from the observation deck, and the observation deck overlooks the entire city of Gatlinburg and the Space Needle. The Space Needle is over 400 feet tall, and the observation deck is like a 360-degree angle. It gives you an entire view of the city. So the person that jumped, it was 58-year-old Ray Pinyan, and he lived in Pigeon Forge. He was really originally from Alabama. I think that really made them dig and see why he would commit suicide. He was arrested in May of 2010 for a bunch of fraudulent charges. He was involved in a lot of schemes and just targeting businesses and just really sketchy, fraudulent things. He was arrested by the Sevierville and Pigeon Forge police, and he was sent back to Alabama, but he was facing 10 years. He pled guilty to one charge, and then the judge actually dropped all of his prison time. So he was only had to do 5 years of probation. But I think that he just thought there was no way out, because he didn't have to face any prison time, but he still had that felony. He still had that charge. I think he might have been worried about his future, future careers and jobs, and I think it all just came crashing down. I've never been in the Space Needle. I've been to Gatlinburg so many times, but we always get pizza at a place that's inside of the Space Needle, and I think you just ride an elevator up to the top. But I didn't even realize, even now, I still don't think about what happened there. I did at the time, but it's just you don't realize how much time has passed, and not even realizing or remembering what even happened literally right up 400 feet above you. So across the street from the Space Needle is the Gatlinburg Sky Bridge, and it just came out that somebody jumped from that. So there's just so many things going on. And Anakeesta is another sky chairlift type of thing, like Sky Bridge is, and it was just came out that a woman jumped from the chair, the seat. So if you want to see some more of those stories, just let me know, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.